This took me quite a while. I got that door finally stripped. I've got me a piece of tape that's stretched from the best parts I could find on the door to where the line's going to go here. I'll put a little fiberglass bondo in there. This is a bondo glass. It's pretty hard stuff. Anyway, I cleaned this door off. It looks straight, but it's not. There was a lot of bondo, just about 4 or 5 places in here to see where the rust is. And pretty good dents, and up here in the front there's some big dents right here. So what I'm going to do is kind of cover this whole area here with this bondo glass. This will seal the metal, stop rust, and I've got me 2 good lines front and back to lay out this this centerpiece. So that's what I'm going to do, is just mix them up, put on there, and this is going to be a little different than I did before. I'm not going to put it on the top and then pull it off, because I've got a lot of, both sides of the body line are dented and rusted. So I want to cover up this whole section here with fiberglass, keep it from rusting again. Now there it is on it. This stuff don't spread very good at all. My biggest dent was up in here, but I've got a good coat over the metal there, and it's pretty even. It's also really hard to sand. That's why I'm putting it on so thin. But I've got a pretty good buildup of it. I'd say a good 1/8 of an inch. And this stuff will get really hard. I'll knock it down with a DA just to get it fairly smooth, and I'll sand it at the angle here going down and the angle here, and try to keep a sharp edge, a crease in there. And once this is hard, then I can put another piece of tape on there and fill it to the tape and pull the tape off and so forth, and get any imperfections cleaned up. So I'll go get something to eat and let this harden. Alright, you can see I've sanded the top part. Of course, it went into the metal right along in there. I'm not particularly worried about that, but I got down close to the edge and I was holding the angle that I needed, and you can see it's a pretty straight line. Some of the, I've got little holes and this and that in it, but for the most part it's got a nice straight line. Neighbors having fun with killing each other. So now I'm going to sand this bottom part the same way and see what kind of a line I get with the, once I do the bottom. Well, as you can see, that line turned out pretty straight. I've got quite a bit of low spots, but here on the bottom I'm hitting the metal, so that's about it. I've got a little bit of lows right in here, So this was a big dent. Here's another dent. But that's all hard fiberglass. And now all I have to do is put a skim coat of bondo in it, on it. I've got some little right there. It's got to be fixed. There's some dent right there in the back. But what I was mostly working on is that body line. And it's straight with my 2 lines on each end of the fender. And I think it's good enough to just start filling it and get rid of those, all that dark spots there are all low. This stuff, I've been just taking that right down to the metal. I may not do that this time because that's all good paint. It's not rusted under it or anything. But as far as what I'm trying to do here is get this body line straight from one end to the other of the car. And everything is matching here. The tops of my fenders are matching. The top edges of my doors. So when you do this, you want to make sure your door's on first, where it's going to be, before you start putting a body line in it, because you'll put a body line in it and it'll look real good, and then you adjust your door and it's off. So, well, I'm gonna skin this with bondo real quick, and maybe I'll do one more sanding on it and then squirt some primer on it just to save it. Now there, I threw a quick skim coat of thin bondo. That's mixed real fine, real runny with that bondo honey. I put a lot of hardener in it, so it'll fire off pretty good. And just looking at it, that line looks real straight. Now, of course, the line was good to start with, but basically that fiberglass fixed all of the dents. And I haven't started building this door up to match the fender yet, because the fender's not bolted down. Once I get the fender bolted down, then I can match my door and adjust that. I think the door should go back. You know, I've got 3/8 of an inch here and 1/8 here, so it needs to go back about 1/8. I'm not really sure how to do that even. I think I can just loosen the hinge and slide the door back. Shouldn't be too hard to do. If it is, I'll make another video about that, but I'm just trying to move on here with the body work while I got some sunlight. Also put a little right in here of that stuff that was left. I had a couple little low spots. So I'll let this dry. Hit it with a DA real quick and straighten it out. And maybe put some primer on it. There we go. Sharp as a tack. Got a nice, real sharp crease in it. I've got a couple little tiny low spots. Nothing particularly bad. And I'm contacting the metal on both sides of it. So I think this is good enough to hit it with a little primer, and that'll show it up real quick what's wrong. Well, there it is. Straight as an arrow. I've got maybe just a little bit of high spot right there in the middle. Right in here on the bottom. But this was done with a DA. So flat board will straighten that out quite a bit. But I've got the basic line in there. Sharp. Yeah, I can see looking from here that still got a little bit of cave in right in this area. But this is fairly easy to fix that. I put a little more body filler in some of these places where I scraped the paint and hit it with some primer. I don't know what that's gonna turn out like. I think I'm still gonna have big scratches in it like that. So I just find my paint stripping wheel and finish stripping this. Just it took me a couple hours to get this thing stripped down this far. Run out of air, and then I couldn't find my stripper wheel. It's around here somewhere. But anyway, as far as what I was trying to do today, strip that door and get that line in there, that's a done deal.